Let me ask you an uncomfortable question. If you had a close friend of yours who was running out of money and you weren't even sure if you had enough to survive on your own, what would you do? Would you step in? Because I'm kind of facing that right now. A good friend of mine, very, very good friend of mine, similar age, has been overseas for quite a long time, hasn't gotten any work in months. And now they're facing some very serious financial crisis. They've faced this over the years, but this one looks like it could be a little more serious in that it might actually be a catalyst for them to make some serious decisions in their life. Because basically, if they don't get a job in the next couple months, they'll probably have to relocate back to their home country. They haven't asked for money, and they haven't hinted at it, but I can see the train coming, and I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what the right thing is to do. Here's what makes it complicated. This person is very smart, very capable, very professional, but they made some professional choices and even some lifestyle choices that I would not have made, and I actually don't think were very wise. They told me that they were making these decisions over the years, over the length of the time that I've known this person, but never really in a way that was asking me my opinion. It was just that I saw them evolve, get to the point to where they are now. Basically, from working to doing whatever they wanted to do they chose to do over the last couple years. So, one of the major decisions they made over the years was they didn't want to go back to an office. They didn't want to do the thing that they were very good at and got paid very well to do. And they chose to follow a path of a profession, kind of what you would consider a hobby, as the way for them to make money. And it hasn't worked out. And I couldn't imagine this type of thing working out anyway. So here's what adds to it. Here's what adds to the pressure. I also just lost my job, and I'm basically forced into my early retirement as well. And I'm not retiring on $1 million. Hoping that I have enough to take care of my family for as long as we need to. I will get odd jobs if I can. I think we'll be fine, but I'm not sitting on any hero money here. I'm watching someone who is very close to me going to be hitting a wall very soon, while I'm trying to manage my own runway and uncertainty about the future. Part of me feels compassion for this person. Of course, I care deeply for this person, but I'm also very frustrated by the situation they got themselves into, and basically are where they are because of the choices that they made. Part of me feels something uncomfortable. I'm afraid for this person and maybe potentially what could come of our relationship. If I'm honest, this situation could be me one day, not tomorrow, not next year, not in 5 years, but 15, 20 years from now, I could be in this situation as well. What are the options? The first option is not to do anything, at least financially. I can remain a friend, I can be supportive, I can lend an ear, or to give feedback if they ask. Option 2 is offer a loan, even though it's not been asked for or hinted at. But gifts can often change the balance of a relationship. Money can change relationships, no matter how deep and how good the relationship you think it is. Even if you say there's no pressure with it, something changes. There's an imbalance. And once money enters into a friendship, it never really fully leaves it. And I think even if the person gives the money back, I think there still is something remaining. I've seen that before, and so here's another layer. So if someone makes these decisions that you wouldn't have agreed to, you don't think they were wise, even not in retrospect, even at the time, I'm thinking, I'm not so sure this is a great idea. It sounds great theoretically, what you want to do, but what you want to pursue, how in the world are you going to live off of that? And I remember this person saying, we'll see what happens. It was a very hope and a prayer type pursuit. Just because they didn't want to return to an office, and just because they didn't want to get paid for the thing they were very good at doing, and they got paid very well. So when someone makes a decision like that, is offering money, is stepping in compassion, or is it cushioning the consequences of the bad decisions they made? Or I don't want to say bad, but unwise decisions they made. At what point is this supportive? Is it supportive? Or is it enabling? And I think one of the hardest questions is, if I gave the money and never got it back, would there be resentment? Would I ever wonder if I'm ever going to get it back? Because I'm not so sure the amount of money this person needs, I'm not sure how long it could help them anyway. Because if they don't get a job, I think they're going to be making some very serious decisions. Is it just prolonging a decision that this person has to make? And then even if there is a remote chance of resentment, that's a very dangerous situation for a friendship. I think what's not bothering me isn't the money, it's the boundary. At this stage in our lives, and at the age of 50, we've made decisions that get us to where we are now. And it takes decades to build financial stability, and I don't have any more time left to correct any mistakes. I don't have time left, really. And I have very little opportunity right now. Helping someone when you're 30, or even when I had an income, is completely different to being unemployed and unsure about my own future. It makes the situation very heavy. And doing nothing makes me feel cold. Am I being cold? Or is it respecting someone's adulthood and the choices that they've made? I don't want to rescue, and I don't want to judge, and I don't want to create an imbalance in our relationship, and I definitely don't want to muddy what has been a very good relationship. I'm still sitting with the tension. So I'm genuinely very curious with you all. Have you ever loaned money to a close friend or family? What was the outcome? Did it change the relationship? If you were financially okay, would you step in to help this person? If I was a millionaire, I would definitely help out. But I'm just uncertain about myself. And I've got a family to take care of. And here's another question. This person told me about their dilemma, but they never asked, and I'm not sure that they would. But should I feel pressure to offer? I'd really like to hear your perspective on this, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one navigating a situation like this. I remember when my mother reluctantly helped a sibling sign for a loan, and she regretted it for years because of the pressure it created. It added to my mother, who also was living. She did everything she could for her kids, but she was living on a shoestring budget, and wasn't sure what if she would ever run out of money. So I don't have the answer yet, and I'm thinking through this real time. Maybe the real lesson here isn't money, but it's about boundaries, and those get harder, not easier, as we get older. So let me know what you think. Have you ever been in a situation like this? What did you do, and what would you do if you haven't? Love to hear from you on this as I work through my own issues with it. Take care, everybody. God bless, and take it slow.